Every story we share is inspired by real life. Names, places, and small details may change, but the lesson is always real. Our purpose is simple: to give you the thought, the strength, or the hope you might need today. This is the story of one man and one decision that changed his entire life. People often believe life changes slowly, over years, but the truth is that life can change in an instant, through one choice, one moment of courage, one silent promise you make to yourself. Ethan Carter was an ordinary man who lived like a shadow in his own life, not because he lacked talent, but because he had stopped believing he deserved anything more. From childhood, he had learned to stay quiet, avoid attention, and keep his head down. Teachers forgot his name, classmates barely noticed him, and somewhere along the way, Ethan convinced himself that being unseen was safer than trying and failing. The years passed like pages turning in a book he wasn't reading. His life became a loop. Wake up, walk to the warehouse, clock in, follow orders, clock out, go home, sleep, repeat. There were no dreams left, no goals, no fire inside him, just routine. But deep beneath all that silence, a small spark still existed, a tiny hope that maybe, somehow, his life could be something more. That hope stayed quiet, until one ordinary Tuesday. After a long shift, Ethan walked through a crowded street market. Vendors shouted, people laughed, traffic roared, and yet among all the noise, he felt strangely alone. As he passed by a stall filled with old second-hand books, something made him stop. Maybe it was curiosity, maybe boredom, maybe fate. On the top of a dusty stack lay a worn-out book titled How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, Dale Carnegie. Ethan didn't know the author. He wasn't even someone who enjoyed reading, but the book felt different, as if it had been waiting for him. The old seller looked at Ethan and said, "Some books don't just teach you, they change you." Ethan didn't understand the meaning, but he bought the book anyway. That evening, in his small, dimly lit apartment, he opened it out of boredom. But on the very first page, he read a line that struck him like lightning. Your life changes when your decisions change. Even one brave decision can rewrite your future. Ethan froze. He read the line again and again. For years, he had waited for life to change, without realizing he had never changed his decisions. He had stayed in the same place, thinking time alone would fix everything. But time can't fix what courage never touches. That night, Ethan made a quiet promise to himself. Tomorrow, I will make one bold decision. Just one. He didn't know what it would be. He only knew he was tired of hiding from his own potential. The next morning, when he reached the warehouse, he saw a notice pinned to the board. Supervisor needed, leadership training provided. Ethan felt his heart drop. He wanted to apply. He wanted to try, but fear attacked him instantly. You're not good enough. You're not leadership material. People like you don't get promoted. He almost walked away. But then Dale Carnegie's words returned to him like a whisper. One decision can rewrite your future. His hand shook. His voice trembled. But he filled out the application. And in that fragile moment, when fear begged him to quit, he did something he had never done before. He didn't quit. He submitted it. That single act of courage changed his life more than he could ever imagine. A week later, Ethan was accepted for leadership training. He wanted to run away. He wanted to say no, but something inside him had awakened, the part of him that finally believed he could become more than his past. Training was difficult. Speaking in front of people terrified him. Giving instructions made him sweat. But every time he wanted to give up, he remembered the old book and the moment he bought it. If he could make that decision, he could make the next one too. Slowly, he improved. His confidence grew. His voice steadied. People listened to him, respected him, trusted him. Ethan discovered that he wasn't average. He had simply lived too long inside a cage built from his own fears. And when he finally broke that cage, the world opened for him. Within months, he was promoted to supervisor. His salary increased, his responsibilities grew. But the real transformation wasn't his job, it was the man he was becoming. He no longer walked with his head down.
He no longer felt invisible. He no longer told himself he didn't matter. He understood now, the world doesn't decide your worth, you do. Years passed and Ethan became known as a strong, kind, inspiring leader. Young workers often came to him for advice, asking how he changed his life. He always smiled and said, "It began with a strange decision. I bought a book I didn't need. But that wasn't the real moment my life changed. My life changed when I stopped believing the lie that I wasn't enough." The old Dale Carnegie book stayed on his desk forever, not because he needed its words anymore, but because it reminded him of who he used to be and who he chose to become. Whenever life felt heavy, he would touch the worn cover and whisper to himself, "One decision, that's all it takes to start again." And now, if Ethan could speak to anyone who feels stuck, forgotten, or afraid to try, he would say this: you don't need a perfect plan. You don't need perfect confidence. You don't need to know the entire path. You just need one decision, one brave step toward the life you deserve. When you make that step, life will begin to change in ways you never imagined. This was Ethan's story. One decision changed everything for him. And maybe it can change everything for you.